Marlins, huh?
Yeah. Hey.
8 of 9, 12 of 15, 3.5 back from the Braves.
Third best record in the NL, tied with the Dodgers, tied with the Astros, who are in the AL, but still.
Even the run differential is looking better. Because the run differential a few weeks ago was terrible. It's actually got a little better.
Yeah.
Now middle of the pack run differential.
Billy, do you feel, because you said during this playoff run, all you needed was the Marlins to fatten up on the Royals and the A's and the White Sox and all these sub-500 teams so that people will pay attention to the Marlins?
Oh, I don't want people to pay attention to the Marlins. They missed the boat. I'm keeping an eye on them for everybody. You guys don't have to watch. I don't care. I'm not one of these people that needs to share things and have communal experiences. I'm fine just doing things by myself. Like, it's fine. I can just enjoy things on my own.
All right, we'll check back in with you in a month on the Marlins.
I'll keep an eye on that. Well, I mean, you're going to have nothing to do after tonight with the Heat.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey, we still have Tuesday night.
Yep, and we still have Joey Chestnut, July 4th. I mean,
You want to talk to him on stupidity again?
I do, yeah.
Please don't.
Ask him all the same questions he's asked annually.
Yeah.
Dominic Foxworth.
What does your poop look like?
Dominic Foxworth is in with us. We're excited to have him. You should find, wherever it is that you get your podcasts, his latest venture, the Dominic Foxworth Show.
It's amazing.
Is it?
It's actually really good. You know how hard I am at grading things. Like, I'm proud of it now. The last, 2 months or so, we've been hitting our stride. We got some real good shows, smart stuff, funny stuff, important stuff, and I can't wait for the Heat to win tonight.
This is the way the story escalates to the greatest of punctuations is to be down 3-1 and rally to win with 2 road wins at the Giants' house. And Tony's shaking his head. That's not going to happen. He still finds.
Come on, Tony.
He's still
No,
He's been
Dominique,
shaking his head the
We've
entire
been doing this all
postseason.
series. Exactly. We're not gonna win 3-1 down.
Why?
It's not gonna happen.
Why? Is this a reverse jinx?
Attaboy.
It has to be, because I know.
I learned from the best.
I know that you, of all people, I mean, everyone in this room, how many times they have to prove it to you? How many mother freaking times do the
3
Miami
more times,
Heat
Dominique.
have to prove it to you? You thought they were
3 in a
beat the
row.
Bucks.
Three, no.
You didn't believe when they beat
I
the
didn't think they were
Bucks.
going to beat the Bulls.
They are 2-6.
They almost did it.
2-6 in their last 8. Do you understand how hard that is to do, to be in the finals and be 2-6 in your last 8?
It's the one thing you guys have in this fake-ass city that's real and gritty. Everything else in this fake-ass city is just phony. Bunch of scammers, fake breasts, lying. Everything is baloney in this city but the goddamn Heat. Fucking from the mud. They work hard.
What is it about whenever the day before a big game, you always see the practice shots, people in the social media showing clips from practice, and they're always real casual. They're like faking it. Like Jimmy's like, oh, I'm messing around with this rookie. I'm lifting him up over my shoulder. It's like, dude, if your ankle's hurt, don't be doing that.
Yeah.
But I love how they always try to seem, when they're at their most nervous, hey, everything's fine. We're having a normal practice.
You got to play cool, Chris.
But
Come on.
Dominique can speak to this, though. They are so tired of their 100th walkthrough of the season, like going through a morning shoot-around that only exists so they don't get hungover the night before.
But
Like,
I'd rather see a report of nobody's talking today at practice because they have their game face on. It's not, Jimmy's lifting up Nika again.
Loser talk is what that is.
You want him to take the pool table out of the clubhouse again? That's the kind of response you want?
I want the reports. They mean business.
They know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a while. They've been the best NBA franchise in modern NBA history. Am I right, Mike?
Oh, come on.
I would give it to the Warriors.
Come on.
Sorry. But
Come
the
on.
Warriors, best
what the
Eastern
Warriors-
Conference.
What the Warriors have done is impressive. But what they've done with what they have is about what they should have done. What the Heat have done with what they have has been the most impressive thing we've seen in the last 25 years of basketball.
Good point.
And you sons of guys
Yeah.
are out here acting all mopey and
You're
sad.
talking about the
You don't
last 4
believe.
years, right?
All of it. I mean, the
Yeah.
LeBron years, that
Right.
counts.
Well, I mean-
He's talking about this century.
Underperformed.
The Wade championship counts. It all counts. The rebuild after Chris Bosh's heart was messed up, all that counts, you cowards.
Well, for as mismanaged as the Lakers have been this century so far, they've also gotten to the finals with 3 different cores, and they've actually won it. So even though they've been terribly mismanaged, you can make an argument for Spurs, Lakers, Warriors, and then Heat.
Nope. I will not take it because the Spurs are boring and San Antonio stinks. And the L.A. is so much mother. I don't know. I can't make. Kobe's really good. Shaq was really great. Let's do it with people who aren't that good, like LeBron James. God damn it, Mike.
Nobody can walk into an arena like Pat Riley. They did the thing yesterday. They're rolling out the hits. It's Jimmy being casual at practice, and it's saying the Heat brass has arrived in Denver. And it's a slow-motion video of Riley just walking in the arena.
Well, but he's walking like a 78-year-old man.
Oh, no.
You said that, not us.
It was like
Still
80
looks
for
great.
Brady.
Careful,
kinda.
Dan.
Yeah.
What does he mean by that?
What does he mean by that?
Who? Chris? What did Chris say?
What did Billy say?
Billy?
Who?
About the Marlins? Or?
Billy, what'd you say?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
Billy, what'd you say?
I said that video that they put out made me kind of sad because it was like one of those, like older group of gentlemen taking on life adventures. Kind of like 80 for Brady is what I said, but it's what it reminded me of, to be honest with you.
That movie, right?
Even Zoe was like walking slow, and it felt like he was kind of like, am I moving too fast? Do I slow down? Like, what do I do here?
You didn't know if it was in slow motion or just the way they
No,
were
I knew
walking?
that was real time.
Wait, that wasn't in slow motion?
The people on the sides were almost fast forward. I thought, are we moving too fast? What's going on here? Respectfully.
It has been a lot can
Well
happen in two games. Pasta fagioli. The Heat went from 1-1 scoring 111 points in game 2 and feeling really good to 2 games later. It seems like everyone is simply saying the Nuggets are just better. It took 2 games for that to happen because of how it happened. Strus can't shoot all of a sudden. He's shooting like 4% in the finals. I'm not even making that number up. He's just
4%?
Yes, it's not a made-up number. He's shooting terrible on open
Not even
threes.
enough to get on the presidential ballot.
And what they've done is they single cover.
I was a poli-sci.
A slower Jimmy. They single cover Bam and allow mid-range jumpers, and then you just take away all of the threes. You take away all of the roll guys. And if it's going to be Bam, you've got to be better. You've got to be better than Jokic. And Jimmy, you've got to be better than Murray. And we're going to make it everything else even. And as an added bonus, Malone's going to make a signature move where Porter's been terrible in this series, like Strus-like in this series. Get him out of there and just let somehow at the end of the game, because Stugotz on Friday, the Heat season came down to 5 minutes. They're the 5 minutes that Scott Foster gave you.
Right.
He gave you 5 minutes to save your season there and give you what the NBA wants, which is a long series, 6, 7 games. Jokic was sitting, and you couldn't do anything to extend or to cut into a deficit with Jokic sitting for 5 minutes. I thought Malone should have left Jokic out there just not to give the Zombie Heat the chance to get back in the series, because I didn't think there was a chance in hell they would call the 6th foul on Jokic.
Finally, you're starting to make sense when you agree with me in saying that the NBA Finals are rigged. So thank you for your cosign on
It's a
that.
bad time.
You know what's pretty suspicious? When the star player for the other team fixes your rim. That's a little sus.
You say finally I agree with you on the series as being rigged. However, I would say to you that it doesn't say much for the status of the Heat that it was rigged in their favor and they still lost by double digits.
It's hard to do.
Denver's good. Denver's good. First time watching them all year. Hand up, they're pretty good.
They don't have any championships.
For me, it's pretty evident what needs to happen.
They're about to have one.
What's been missing from the Miami Heat since Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and that's in the playoffs. We all know the regular season made no sense, and projecting that over the postseason, it's impossible for them to be in the spot. What was the great equalizer was playoff Jimmy living at the line, and not just offensively, by the way. Getting to the line allows you to set up your defense and get Denver out of this transition that's been killing them. Jimmy's just not getting up to the cup, and it's got to be the injury, because they've gone through bigger and badder teams when it comes to protecting the rim on their run to the finals, but they're really intimidated by Jokic's presence.
The game plan for the Heat is very simple. Shoot historic from 3, you win. If you don't, you lose. That's it.
There are other elements here that are disconcerting for the Heat, and one of them, I would say, is no one has played better against Denver defensively in these playoffs than the Heat. You got exactly the game you needed from Murray and Jokic the last time and lost still by double digits at home. That's as poorly as Jokic will ever play. Ever. That game where he misses more than half of his shots, his ankle's hurt, he gets in foul trouble.
The garbage man.
The thing is, when you play a game, I'm from a sport where you play single elimination. So you think about the game in the course of the entire game, how you're setting up different things that you might want to break out in the fourth quarter. You run the blitz to the strong side all the first half because you know there's going to be a big third down in the second half. Then you run the blitz to the weak side, and it works in the fourth quarter. So you are setting people up, and sometimes you give up a little bit here in order to make things work later. You run this trade counter action the whole time to set up play action off of it. That's all the Heat are doing. So when there's a series, think about it as one long game. Setting their ass up, Spo. Spo is setting their ass up. So get ready.
Yep.
Right now it's coming. Their asses is set.
I'm with you.
All the way up.
I want to be fair to Max Drew, Stan. He's shooting 16% from the field. Max Drew.
4 times better than what you alleged.
Yeah.
How about from 3?
I haven't checked from
I
3.
think it's 20% on wide open threes.
It's usually pretty close to that
He's
percentage.
setting them up. He's been missing them on purpose in order to set them up. So
Yeah, I'm
it's
taking a lot of twos, do you?
a setup.
Dan, think of it as one long game.
Yeah, it's just one long game. They haven't lost yet.
Man, there's just something about this team, though, that I do think they're going to be hard to kill.
Because they're champions. You know who's not? Denver.
Wow.
Never done it. They don't know how to win.
They've never been in this
This
spot.
group has never won a championship either. They
But
just-
it's there. It's there.
a
Spo's done
championship
it.
It's somewhere in there.
Riley's got
You're
a
right.
couple.
Yeah.
It's in their
Udonis
veins.
got some.
Nobody
It's in there.
plays. Nobody
Yeah.
plays.
Udonis got some. It's in there.
It is weird. Every time that their backs up are against the wall, like
Kyle
Spo's just
Lowry.
like, it's got to be hard for us.
Yep.
It's not going to be easy.
Have
We
you
all
ever
knew it's
been
gonna be
more
hard.
comfortable than Spo is with his back against the wall?
Exactly. Yep. He lives there.
He's just leaning up against it like James Dean.
He's 19% from 3.
The
I would
problem,
be careful, Dominic. I don't think that wall's structurally sound.
Is Spo here? Who is that? Spo came over
the
here?
problem with being when your best argument is it's not impossible or they're good with their back against the wall. They've never had this particular giant leaning up against them while they
Aaron
got
Gordon.
their back against the wall.
We'll just wrap there, guys, with the Aaron Gordon line. We found our ending, so that'll be a little early. Got that video?
Jeff Van Gundy is going to join us here in a little bit. Chris Cody has urged me to ask him to stop being surprised every time Duncan Robinson goes to the rim. We will do that in a moment. Dominic, you've been saying, I don't know, I did not hear how it is that this escalated. What's happening with planks? Are we doing some sort of plank competition?
Mike said when we were coming down the elevator, he asked me if I wanted to work out after the show. And I was like, no, work out during the show. All the breaks, plank it out. Do some push-ups, a little something. Let's get right. Get our abs for the summer. Our wives and girlfriends deserve a little sexy ab.
But you were just telling me this. You haven't informed the entire group that we're doing planks as a show?
I don't got to tell them shit.
He's right. It's accountability.
We timed it out during our synchronized poo.
They either join you or they don't. That's it. Yep.
Mike and Chris Cody as
Dan loves
experts on hockey as Roy goes to Las Vegas for a
he already
potentially
there?
very sad circumstance.
Is Roy there?
Can Chris and Mike Ryan explain to me why Vegas is the best in the league at getting in the way and blocking shots? The Panthers can't do anything clean, and it's because Vegas is better than anybody in the league of not letting you take direct shots on their goal.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, Vegas plays with an extra guy on the ice the entire series. It's been a talking point that's been largely ignored by the media. It reminds me so much of the sweep to the Lightning last year. It was the exact same thing. Power play giving you nothing. Every shot blocked in front. And on top of that, when the shot does get through, it needs to take 7 ricochets to beat their goalie, who's right now the hottest player on the planet. It's look, Vegas is really good.
They're annoyingly good at everything.
Yeah,
they're just like fundamentally decent at every single thing about hockey.
Their fourth line is better than some teams' first line. I'm not going to point to the salary cap. It's just a fact. There's a reason why they're that talented, that deep. Because they've spent more money than anybody.
You just
they're
did
really
point
good.
to the salary
Well,
cap.
it's not an excuse. They're kicking Florida's
But that
ass right
fourth
now.
line has been their best line this series.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like.
been.
Yeah.
We'll see if there's a suspension to it. I doubt it if it hasn't come down at this point. Was that the first penalty called on Vegas with 17 seconds left? That was
ridiculous.
They're really disciplined too. In Florida's not playing the most disciplined style of hockey. Tkachuk's a little bit hurt, but they're not going to win another game this series if they don't get over 2 goals in regulation. They need to score.
It's a terrible combination to have Vegas blocking all of your shots, and then you're also over on the entire power play.
Never a good combination.
Why am I here? Like, this is. I thought when I agreed to come
No
down
faith,
here,
Dominique.
everybody was riding high. I wanted to be a part of this show. It was fun. Like, Miami's winning everything. And all I hear is high-pitched voices. Put some bass in your voice and believe in your boys.
I believe in every playoff series.
There we go.
In every playoff series.
All right.
The Florida Panthers have won 3 straight games in that series on their magical run to the Cup final. So it's going to have to happen one more time.
I'm scared.
Vegas is really good, man. And
Mike is right.
There we go.
When it came down to finding out what the best team in the league is, I think we all found, and we're all just going to have to be satisfied with perhaps we're the second best team.
No, see, you don't put bass in your voice and say cowardly stuff. Like, you can't.
Credit to them. They're way
Go
they're
high
way better
pitch.
than us.
If you want to be a coward, you take it up.
Their goalie's unbeatable.
I like the bass in the voice, and also like Drew being sad and negative.
I am so sad. I am so sad.
and pessimistic, but
I am
with
very
bass in your
defeated.
voice.
Yeah, it's not. Usually, I can be irrational about many things. It's not often that I lean back up against the wall like Spo and said, "You know what? They're better than us. They're just credit to them. Salute to Vegas. They're just really good."
And as the co-founder of Theranos, I agree with Mike Ryan. I think they simply are the better constructed roster and have a better talent on the ice in their fourth line than most teams have in their first line.
No one's really talking about the E2 Lustrinin injury, and I think that he would have brought a lot of spark to that third line. That's a very difficult.
I
line
actually
to say.
think that third line's been our best line with Lomberg.
Yeah.
That's how bad the first 2 lines have been.
First 2 lines have been bad, and it's reported that Tkachuk has like a dead
much
arm.
better.
He's got a dead arm. Tkachuk was concussed, yeah? He was
I mean, it seemed like it.
Yes.
concussed.
Yeah.
He had a dime
Pussy.
of a pass, but he got up, he fell. In the NFL, that's out for the game. But in hockey, you could be like, nah, it's ice. He slipped.
Oh, my gosh. It's the funniest thing. It's not funny, but
Wait,
it is
in
funny.
the NFL, you're saying that in this market?
It's kind of funny to me how differently concussions are treated depending on the sport. And like, I thought about this. Was it the last fight? It was Gervonta Davis's fight, when it's like, we all get so excited when someone gets knocked out in boxing or MMA, but we all clutch our pearls if somebody's wobbly in football. We're like, oh.
Or on an NBA court. Bernie.
We'll get to that in a second. We have that video to play.
It's the greatest.
I don't want to just – we've got a couple videos to play because I think one of them that we have is better than that Bernie video. It involves longtime Yankee announcer John Sterling. But before we get to those videos and Jeff Van Gundy, you just skipped right past, and this is just so hockey and also so this time of year. I heard somewhere from among all the voices the analysis of that got skipped by to get to the concussion. He's got a dead arm.
Yeah, dead arm.
There's somebody skating around out there.
Yeah.
Who's
and
important
arguably the best 5-on-5 player in the league.
Who's important to the Panthers' chances, and we're describing a dead arm, and there are other guys out there who have more than that. That this is by the end of this season, the way that sport is played, as physical as it is, as crazy as it is, because
Gudas has a bull shark hanging from his left leg.
Hockey players say they're tougher than football players. You might say they're not, but hockey players pride themselves on being tougher than football players.
It's a weird thing that people think it's something that you want to fight about. Sure, you guys can be tougher.
You can have it.
You can have it.
Well, that just makes you less tough.
Yeah,
You conceded.
It just makes your arm more alive.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, cool.
Your voice went a little high there.
Can we do the sports talk thing where we try to say who's most likely to come back from a 3-1 deficit and just all agree neither of them? That's all right.
Let's play the game. No. I got a game. Let's play who's more likely to bring it back for Game 6.
That's what Steve Martin also.
That's what he just said. Go
He said win the whole thing.
In fairness to Chris, he said win the whole thing.
Neither of you were listening, and that should be both of you to the
But
penalty
no,
box,
I
to be
mean,
fair.
I'm on Mike's side.
He just admitted he wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Off the mic.
I mean, in order to bring it back, you just got to win this next one. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
both could win
I'm going to go with hockey because they play
The
on ice and it's
randomness of the
slippery.
sport, yes.
Yeah, I feel both have had magical journeys, but I think the Panthers are – I feel more encouraged about the Panthers' run because it seems like it's a start of something. They have a 25-year-old superstar that's under a good contract right now. The ratings are good. Like, he is appointment television if you're crazy about hockey, and maybe he's reaching certainly people in this market that never used to follow hockey before. With the Heat, I'm a little bit more concerned because I'm just like, how is this sustainable? How do they get back? Jimmy's older. Jimmy seemingly got old in the middle of that Boston series, and I'm trying to find out what's working, what's not, and I don't see how they have a sustainable path to get back here.
First of all, I just would like to thank you for that masterful transition because Dan left the room while we're talking about hockey.
Well, he was sent to the penalty box, and he listened to the penalty.
He never. So can we change the penalty box? Like, I think it should be the plank room.
Well, it's Mars
like
right
that.
now. Which
Like,
is
you got to have
No,
a
it's
real
not Mars
punishment.
yet.
You can't just sit in there and have a break from work. Get in there
Let's
and
bring
get your
back
abs right.
planking like it's 2010 again. I like this idea.
Wait, so you're saying if you go there, you have to
I could
work?
play
You got to
for
do
5
something?
hours.
You gotta get a good sweat going. Get them pits a little musty in there,
Dominique,
Dan.
Billy, one time at the old studio, we did a plank off, and Billy planked for like 7 minutes straight.
Are
It
you a
was
Marine?
incredible.
I could do 8.
Greg Cody was actually phenomenal at it, too.
Like
from what
2 minutes, I
recall.
think.
Yeah.
That's intercord dad strength. There's a thing there.
Well, we got to figure out a different activity, a different exercise that I can win at because I don't think I'm going to win at this plank, and I need to win.
I feel like you could probably win at any other exercise.
Let's just have a street fight, a little Royal Rumble action.
You win.
Yeah, I'm whooping ass in here.
a street fight. We could use weapons.
No weapons. Just
Well,
No,
not
that's
a
what a street fight is.
Yeah.
I saw pre-show there was a little back down competition between you and Tony.
oh yeah.
How'd that go? I don't.
It's just
who
defense.
was
It
the
wasn't
winner
a back
there?
down comp. It was just
Yeah,
defense.
like,
He was squaring up on me.
Tony
know-
caught Dominique on a switch.
Yeah, we got switched. He got a little size advantage.
It was
so
Aaron Gordon on Gabe
So
Vincent.
he tried to post me up. He pushed me down a little bit, but I threw his ass back in the lobby with one little forearm.
One chicken wing.
Yeah, a little wing. It was.
We got to
good
get now on the
matchup.
line. Me versus you, offense, defense on like quarterback, wide
yeah.
receiver corner.
I don't play football for free. I mean, what I look like.
Neither do I.
Did you ever hear about Tony's FIU quarterback tryout where he threw?
They
a
tried to
fake
do
ball?
me wrong, Dominique. Is
He
what happened.
didn't actually
What
throw
happened,
football
Tony? Tell him.
during his tryout.
Dominique, as you know, when they use footballs out of practice, it's counted against like a certain number of practices that you have for the year as a D1 team, right? So when the tryouts for the walk-ons came
Tryouts
in,
without
He
a ball.
knows because he actually played.
no, I know that's why
No,
I'm telling him.
I don't know actually because
The
why the
rules
hell
don't
would they
apply to you.
have
There
me
was
do
always
a
a-
fake practice?
There was always a football when
Yeah, I
Dominique
didn't.
was on the
Correct.
There's no fake practices for me.
The point
It
being,
showed up. It was
when
like,
the
get
real
out
team
there.
was there, the
You're
ball
good.
was there. Exactly. So they counted those. To
Was
the,
this at the school or like in your
this was
parents'
at,
yard?
No. This was at the stadium.
Oh.
Anyways,
It was at Tropical Park.
no,
He
it
had-
wasn't at Tropical Park.
He had a quarterback
the
tryout
cage.
where he didn't throw an actual ball. He just pretended.
They did like shadow drills.
Were there any quarterbacks that didn't do well?
Were they throwing like a honey baked ham or something?
Did you ever go, look at that dive over there?
This guy sucks.
Dominique, to make matters worse, not only did they have us do like
60 yards.
3-step drops, 5-step drops, quick slant throws, the receivers had to mimic the
Hold on,
actual
hold on,
things
hold
and
on.
like fake catch the ball.
You
It was
said
sad.
3-step throws. What were you throwing?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So you
Air.
didn't do any throws.
No, we didn't do it.
They
So
were
look,
dimes though.
They were
Yeah.
dimes. So we'd have to
how
get
are you-
behind
hold on,
the
hold on, hold on.
Listen.
How are you trying out? Were
That's
they-
my
were they
point. That's what I was trying to tell him. I was like, guys, this is a sham. But they had every walk on there doing the same thing. So I'm under center. There's a center, and I'm getting a fake snap. So I'm under
How many
him.
times did you fumble the fake snap?
Never. I'm not
Never
you.
fumble the
I
fake
never
snap,
fumble the
right.
bag, Mike. So I'm here under center, right? We go hut. I take my 3-step drop. That wasn't 3. And I've got a thing back here.
Right.
There's a cabinet back
Well,
here.
pretend
Sorry.
it's
No,
not
you
there.
gotta work on your
Pretend it's
footwork.
not there. Let me run through the cabinet.
Well,
Okay.
there's a
Let me-
make-believe
let
pass
me
rusher
hear,
behind
Let
you.
me hear your full cadence. Let me hear your full cadence.
That's good. Yeah.
Not you, Chris.
Not you.
Not you.
So you get up, kind of look over. 42 is the mic.
Jesus.
Y20. What's what I said?
We got one? Got one?
No.
He got them to
It
jump.
was close. It was
I
close.
jumped.
Showed the blitz. They
That was
showed the
an
blitz.
interception.
Check it.
Motion your receiver to make sure they're not in zone.
Oh, yeah. Little hand
And it's
wave.
a pick six.
Jeff Van Gundy jumped.
Set. We're gonna go. Let's go.
Sign him up. Get that man a Scully.
Let's go.
Scully that man
You
right
got
now.
invisible concussion. Oh.
That was too quick of a pass. No pass rushers.
Batted at the line. Batted at the line.
And the
Low
Too tall.
trajectory.
Too tall.
Are you saying the receivers would have to act as if they were catching the ball?
Yeah. I saw a guy run a slant. It was sad. So sad.
Jeff Van Gundy next. Forgive me, I got the stat wrong on Max Strus. He's shooting 4% in their losses. In all of their losses, he's shooting 4%. Jeff Van Gundy is with us. You can see on his face the thrill and joy of the basketball season. You can see that he is radiant and excited to be here. Look at him, trying to use the muscles on his face to summon a smile, but they don't work because those muscles have atrophied. I saw you on Friday. I was delighted to see you. My delight was not met with your delight. You seem disoriented. You seem confused. There was a lot of bustle around you. How are you feeling about these finals right now, Jeff? Because everybody who walked out of the arena the last time they played was like, Denver's just better.
Well, first of all, when I saw you on Friday, I was working and you were bothering me as I was working. So, I just wanted to clarify
No,
that.
wait a minute. You were walking to go get snacks at halftime.
I was walking because I'm old and I was trying to get to the bathroom at halftime. Yes.
That's working.
Big difference.
ABC
Big
pays
difference.
you to walk and go to the bathroom. Put it on the poll, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Should ABC be paying Jeff Van Gundy for going to the bathroom?
It's good union right there.
I would say without a doubt. And I would say that, yes, so far Denver's been just a lot better than Miami. I mean, they're just bigger at every position, and their two best players have performed extraordinarily well. I think they're going to have to try to limit Murray. Miami is somehow. I thought the zone was effective. They didn't play it at all in Game 4, probably due to the rebounding discrepancy in Game 3, where they got dominated by 25. So, the size really has worn them down. But I think actually, the shooting of the guards for Miami has been obviously not up to what they hoped. But Bam Adebayo, to me, has been absolutely terrific. He has competed as hard as one can compete.
People in Miami are very frustrated with him, and all I say is, well, the guy he's playing against is better than him. There's no shame. The guy he's playing against is better than just about anybody who's ever played.
Yeah, my frustration, if I was a Miami Heat fan, would not be with Adebayo. I mean, when a guy gives all he gives to the game, and, he's improved so much. You look at what he does well. He can defend so many people and so many things defensively. He then, on offense, is a great giver. He's a tremendous passer and screener, which is, the giving part of the game. I think he's improved rapidly as a scorer. And, yeah, if you have a problem with Jokic being better than Adebayo, like, okay, well, then you'd have a problem with everybody else in the NBA as well. So I think he's actually competed very, very well against Jokic. The frustration should not lie there.
Where should it lie?
That Denver's really good, and that, Miami is, not shot the ball particularly well. I don't think anything Miami's done. They've competed hard. I just think so far in the first 4 games, other than game 2, fourth quarter, Denver has been just a better team. And I don't think there's any shame in not being as good as somebody in the NBA if you're giving all you have to the cause. And I certainly think when I watch Miami, they're giving everything they have to the cause of winning.
Stugotz, why did you do that? He said that.
I think I'm right. I'm not so certain I'm wrong here.
Okay, but let me explain to the audience. He said where frustration should lie, and your response was, where should they lay? Why did you do that?
Where should it lay is what I said. And I think that's the way you say it. I'm not certain. Jeff, were you thrown off by that? I'm an English major, so, I should know if anyone in this.
I didn't really hone in as much on the pronunciation. I wouldn't even know what the correct verbiage was on that.
See?
Help me, Jeff, with something here. I would like, can you promise me that you will not, the remainder of this series, at any point be surprised that Duncan Robinson is now going to the rim?
I can't promise I'll do that. I can't. I love what I've seen. I know I sound like a proud father on the broadcast every time he drives by somebody and makes a good play, but I love improved players, and to get to that, what he's done, particularly when the year has not gone really well for him, to keep improving even as you sit a lot and you've had minutes taken away for, because other guys were performing better. I think Robinson and the Heat should be really proud of how he's been able to offensively continue to evolve and necessarily evolve, because it can't just be about three-point shooting. It's too erratic. Everybody's three-point shooting is too erratic to just count on that. So I think it's a really good I think Robinson's done a really good job for his career in being able to – he's done a great job cutting. Adebayo finds him for, cutting baskets, and then the ability to use his great shooting to make them close hard and drive by. And you are going to hear when he gets his first layup again tonight, probably the wonder of my voice, about his improvement.
Hey, Jeff, it's Mina. I was wondering if you could give us here in Miami some encouragement. It feels as though everyone here is beaten down and defeated. You said the size advantage is a problem, but I've heard that size doesn't matter. It's about the motion in the ocean. So please verify that the Heat have a chance.
Well, no, whoever told you size doesn't matter never coached in the NBA.
Oh, okay.
So I can't.
I'll call her.
That's unfortunately something that you can't change. But I would say if I was a Heat fan, I would go to game 2's start. They were the more ready team. Obviously, Denver is one win away. They're ready to celebrate. You hope, if you're a Miami fan, that their players, coaches, organization has skipped a couple steps over the last couple days and is thinking about the end versus putting in the work it takes to win tonight. Because if you remember back, they started the game so very well in game 2. And I think they've got to get off to a good start. Strus helped that. Gabe Vincent was terrific. Basically, they have been ineffective in the other games. And I think if Vincent and Strus can give them some punch to start the game, then I think, playing ahead, allows you to play with a little bit more confidence. And even though they got down in that game, in the second, third, and they were down 8, I think, going into the fourth, if you're just around, Jimmy Butler can, he can take over a game. He hasn't had one of those Milwaukee type of games.
Kenny, but Kenny, since he injured his ankle, Kenny.
Oh, stop with the excuses. It's not an ankle
but
thing.
he hasn't.
Exactly.
But he hasn't been the same player since he hurt his ankle. Like he hasn't done that since he hurt his ankle, has he?
Excuses.
Again, Jimmy Butler. Everybody is hurt. Like every time, if Jokic doesn't play well, are we going to say if Jokic doesn't play great tonight? Is it because of his ankle, or are we going to get?
He had a bad game the last game, and he hurt his ankle. Like that probably had something to do with it.
Can we revisit?
I love how we give. It's just so funny to me in the media how certain guys, when they play well, are cut slack for whatever issues may have occurred, and other guys don't get slack cut to them. I get on Mike Breen about this all the time. Like when Steph Curry was in the finals, every time he missed a shot, it was because of his ankle. And every time he made a shot, it was heroic for overcoming an ankle. I mean, it's just like, to me, if you're out there, you're healthy enough. And you should be judged on your performance. And Jimmy Butler is absolutely able to have one of those games. And I just don't see any reason, like, in this type of situation, why he and Bam Adebayo couldn't set a tone, get some needed help, and them win this game. I think if you're a Miami fan, you have to believe that.
I got to say, I was the only one in here who felt like had a little bit of hope in the Heat winning, and Jeff's taking that hope from me because
a really shitty inspirational speech.
I asked him to give us some motivation,
really bad,
and
really
he said you got to hope that Denver is already celebrating.
Yes, and do what you did when you were down 8 in the fourth quarter. That was his.
It's over, guys. It's over.
That was his inspiring speech. I do think it's fair.
Hey, let's hope Spo has something better than I just gave you guys, because if it's like, 1, 2, 3 Cancun, that's probably not.
It would be hard for him to have something worse than what you just gave us in terms of inspiration. On the Bam front, though, because I believe Malone told you early in the series, if he wants to get 26 points on 25 shots, we will live with that. They're living with his mid-range jumper. And in the last game, when they needed Bam to, be better, he had 7 turnovers while Denver as a team had 6. Like, that's not how Miami plays, Jeff. Like, that's you could say that he's doing things that you want him to do, but he didn't dunk when he had a wide open dunk because Jokic, understandably, is really big and would bother anybody. And 7 turnovers is a disaster. It's twice as many as they had in one of the games.
Well, Captain Obvious, that was really inspiring as well. I think Murray had 7 turnovers in the previous game and they won. And everybody was raving about Murray's play. So, again, we're going on the result. Miami didn't get the result they want. Thus, you're looking for
Murray
reasons
had a
why.
triple-double.
He had 7 turnovers.
Yeah, but Dan, you're picking on the one guy for the Heat that's shown up for this series. Where's Jimmy Butler been? Where's Strus? Where's Vincent? Where are all those guys?
Yeah, I am surprised that anybody would look at Bam Adebayo, the effort he's given, and his performance, and say, hey, it's an Adebayo issue. It's not. Like, when I watch the game, I think the guy has competed hard. Yes. Is he going to go in the low post and pummel you? No, that's not his game. Is he going, like, to me, he had a couple drives that he could have finished, but when he's exerting all he's exerting, playing the minutes he's playing, I think he's been the brightest spot that Miami has had so far in this series. And that doesn't mean he's been perfect, but I think he's played terrific basketball.
Jeff, good seeing you. Thank you for joining us, for making the time, for spreading your joy all over our show. It's
Hey, listen, I'm wearing my Triangle of Toughness shirt that someone sent me from Avon Old Farms, coach there, and it is humble, disciplined, and passionate. You guys got to come up with your own Triangle of Toughness, because mentally this series has broken you right now, and you have to reinvigorate your enthusiasm for why Miami can come back and win it.
Lazy, sad, and fake.
That was a little better by him.
Thank you, Jeff. Good seeing you.
All right.
Dominique, your timing was impeccable that segment. He is doing planks during the breaks. I don't know when we're doing this plank competition, but at some point during the show.
Competition?
I've been told we're doing a plank competition again. The last one was won by a 66-year-old man, Greg Cody, that Jessica accurately said had old man dad core strength, which was confusing to all of us. I don't mean this to sound like the ripping of Bam again and again. I don't, because Jimmy Butler has not been in this series what it is that he had been to get you here. But 7 turnovers in a game when the Miami Heat must win with discipline and not allowing the ball to go easily the other way so they can set their defense. They're having all sorts of problems scoring, at least in part, because one-on-one they're telling Bam, go ahead and score. We will allow you to do what you want with mid-range jumpers. Take all you want. And then when you're under the rim, you break the rim because you don't dunk successfully when they need you to and get an offensive goaltending because of that. Like, I'm just pointing out what happened.
7 turnovers essentially translates into, I mean, I haven't seen the sample in this series, but when you consider how they are per 100 possessions, it's 19 points the other way. Because you're missing out on an opportunity to get points, and Denver is getting loose on transition, and if you're lucky, it results in a 2-point basket and not a kick-out 3. So it's not a great play. It was like me every time I got happy when Julius Randle was touching the ball because it was a pick 6 the other way. It needs to stop happening with Bam. A guy that's shooting 50%, missing 3-foot bunnies, and on top of that, turning the ball over 7 times and letting Denver get out in transition. It's not a good basketball play. There's a reason why doing it that way has got you 3-1 down. There is a recipe for Miami to win this basketball game. It's either shoot historic from 3 or have Jimmy live at the line to make up for those inefficiencies.
But you guys are picking at the one guy. I understand what you're saying. He hasn't been great. The turnovers are a problem, but he's 22.5 and 13 rebounds per game.
They're counting numbers. It doesn't matter.
Mike,
if you watch a game, it's not Heat basketball.
Caleb Martin last series was 19 a game against the Celtics. He's 6 a game this series.
And where is he, Stu?
Yeah, but my expectations for Caleb Martin aren't what they should be for Bam.
This has been a clear decision that the Nuggets have made to try to force Bam to be a scorer, and Spo doesn't have an answer for it. When you go into the game, the expectation with Bam, Garden, Jokic on the other end is that Bam, we need you for defense. We don't need you for scoring. They're forcing him to score, and they don't seem to know what to do other than to let Bam work. So
but if we're going to do that, Dominique, let's see the 2-man game between Jimmy and Bam. Let's see some pick-and-roll action. We haven't seen these actions this entire series.
Yeah.
It needs to be Jimmy Butler touching the ball as much as Jokic.
The point I'm making is we shouldn't be upset at Bam about the fact that the offense seems to be relying on him. He's not like the offensive juggernaut.
These are resentments. These are resentments that we have towards Bam that are just coming out here.
Well, no,
I agree with Stugotz. Bam has actually, it's not just counting stats. He's been good in this series.
But Denver is allowing that. And Dominique, I think you're placing the blame on Spo, right? Like counter.
It's on Jimmy.
Let me just be clear that the blame goes on Denver's better than they are. That's where the blame goes.
Whoa, you're
Hold
letting
on.
the referees off.
Debatable.
Let me start with a couple of things. I would not question his effort. It is maximum effort. I am awed, legitimately awed, when space clears out, Murray's trying to get a jumper with Bam guarding him, and he can't. Murray can't get a clean jumper. He might have gone 12 assists and no turnovers. He was 5 of 17 in that game, and I couldn't believe what I was watching. Open space, Murray can do nothing with Bam guarding him. Can't get off a clean jumper because he's afraid of his length. That is Heat basketball over there. They're losing because they're scoring 90 points a game, and they're scoring 90 points a game because Bam can have all the jumpers that he wants. Take them all. We're going to take away your shooters. We're not going to let you win the way you win, which is shooting threes the way you won game 2 because you made all your threes. Not going to lose that way anymore. Bam, eat. Yep. Eat all you want, and if you get to 90 points, maximum effort. I'm not going to question that guy having to guard that giant. Like that, just what that takes off out of him defensively. I don't expect any points from him on offense because it must be exhausting just to play that dude in the post.
Well, I think what everybody's saying is actually pretty accurate, but at the same time, the end result is 3-1 Denver. And Mike Malone smiles from ear to ear every time he sees Bam being the focal point on the offensive end.
Mike, it's not 3-1 Denver because Miami's not guarding Denver better than anyone in the postseason has guarded them. They are guarding a champion offense better than anybody has. The problem is they can't score. Their regular season Heat team scoring. They cannot shoot. And part of that is because they have put Jimmy Butler with Aaron Gordon one-on-one, and they have put Jokic with Bam one-on-one, and they're just saying, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
What do you got? And what you got is 90 points a game.
I think it's safe to say the defensive matchup that has impacted this series most has been Gordon on Jimmy Butler. We mentioned entering the series historically, it's been a very big problem for Jimmy Butler. Aaron Gordon's numbers against Jimmy Butler were very good. And what you're hearing is resentment towards Bam because he can't be that guy if Jimmy is being taken out of his game. For the Miami Heat to win, Jimmy Butler needs to live at the line for a multitude of reasons.
Not just him, though. I'd say Bam, too. Like, Bam needs to get him in foul trouble, but I don't blame Bam for not wanting to go up against him.
What I haven't figured out about this series in particular is, and it could be entirely possible that Jokic has transformed himself as a defensive presence at the cup, but this entire Heat run, size on the inside did not matter. It didn't matter. They got to the rim, they got to the line against teams that are better interior defense, that have comparable size. They're just not doing it anymore. And saying Jimmy's ankle is a reason, I think lets him off easy, but it's the best thing that I got right now.
I think Jimmy got spooked by Time Lord, by Robert Williams in the last
and
series.
Derek White.
Yeah.
By not biting.
By not biting on that pump fake. He does not trust that pump fake move anymore, and it almost feels like the book is out on Jimmy Butler.
That and the Nuggets are super long, so whether it's Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter Jr., who sucks, by the way, that guy sucks, or
he should
Jokic,
be a lot better. You're right.
He's not good.
He
doesn't actually suck, but he has looked terrible in these finals.
$30 million a year.
And eventually got benched. And Brown was the one that killed the Heat. And, felt like he ended their season because Porter went to the bench.
With all those guys being that long guarding Jimmy, he doesn't have that pump fake. And if he's not quick enough to get around you, he's not trusting his jumper for whatever reason, whether it be his ankle, whether it be something else. Like, where does that leave Jimmy offensively?
But Derek White didn't have this length. Is it the ankle that makes him not trust it, or is it just teams realizing no matter what against Jimmy Butler, you keep your feet?
I have gotten next to nothing right over the analysis of this postseason. Did to Bam in the first game. They were fortunate in going through New York and going through Boston that there wasn't someone like that.
Dan, Time Lord and Brook Lopez are like that.
No.
Yes. Look at the defensive metrics on Milwaukee, and they're better.
Brook was first team all defense this year.
Dude, look at Brook is a better interior defender than Jokic. Yeah. Full stop.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying that Brook outplayed Bam in that series. That series was not won by Bam.
Yeah, because Bam has a more difficult matchup against Brook than he does even against Jokic.
Jimmy averaged 40 a game in that series.
And they went right at Brook. Brook is a better interior defender. What's the difference between Jimmy Butler now and Jimmy Butler in that Milwaukee series?
There's a high ankle sprain. Can you explain this to me, Dominique? Because Mike Ryan and Jeff Van Gundy gave voice to the same thing. And I don't get it. I really don't. It lacks empathy and compassion, and I think it dilutes reasonable human analysis to say that when a guy is hurt but still playing with a dead arm or a high ankle sprain, that if you're out there, you're good enough. And I say, well, you might be good enough to be out there, but you're probably not good enough to be your peak self if you're injured. That anyone listening to this, if any of us were having issues at work because we couldn't do our job as well because we were injured, that might be an explanation instead of an excuse.
I mean, I think it's an explanation, and it's also seen as an excuse because I think Jeff's point, and Mike would probably agree with this, is at this point in the season, everybody's got something. And some people fight through it and succeed, and some people don't and can't. And so, like, saying that you can just fight through a high ankle sprain is not fair, but also you saw what happened to Jokic in the last game, and he still played well. So I think that's what it boils down to is you don't want to, but
he played less well than he's played in the entire series as soon as his ankle got hurt.
I think what people take you saying that as is taking away credit from the team that wins by saying, oh, well, he's just hurt. And you're not doing that. But I think It's part of the explanation for what's going on. It's true, but it's not. No one's going to give you a consolation trophy, and I think that's what Mike is talking. It's like it's about results.
I think it's a variable. Like Jimmy Butler looked pretty good Game 3 against Boston, and that was closer to the ankle injury. What happened after Game 3 in down here in Miami against Boston was the Celtics staff got together. They put Derek White on Jimmy Butler, and they just simply stopped biting on the pump fake. A pump fake that was still very much effective after he rolled that ankle.
Can you guys please, because Stugotz, I don't know, it was like 3 games ago. 3 games ago.
Yeah.
When Jimmy says it, I believe it. And Jimmy says every game, we're going to win. We're going to win. His words mean nothing anymore. Like, they don't mean anything. He just says we're going to win every time. But 3 games ago, you said, whatever Jimmy says, I believe. And when you came in here today,
yeah,
you said you didn't trust him. And why isn't he getting more criticism? Because he's not doing the things that he was doing the first 10 games of the playoffs. He's not doing the things he was doing before he hurt his ankle.
Listen, I still trust him, but Jimmy's just not playing the same, okay? Like, he averaged, again, nearly 40 points a game against the Milwaukee Bucks. And then he did it again the next series. And so I had no reason not to trust Jimmy Butler. But if you guys want to look for the reason the Heat are not getting it done in this series, it's Jimmy Butler. You're blaming the wrong guy.
Yep.
You can't hold Jimmy Butler up to Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant in the first 2 rounds. And then when he stops playing like those guys, just say, hey, it's Bam's fault.
I'm conceding
That's convenient for Jimmy.
I'm conceding that when it comes to my Bam criticism. It is resentment for Jimmy Butler. He went at Brook Lopez, who led the league in contested shots at the cup by a wide margin. Far more difficult defensive assignment than Jokic.
Well, where's Tyler Hero? Heal already.
Yep.
I told us Game 2.
Yep.
It's Game 6, buddy. Heal. Like, what are we doing?
Heal already.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Tyler Hero, heal already. Yes
Tyler
or
Heel,
no?
Laro.
Nope.
I'll go to Vegas.
Yeah, good try.
What kind of penalty is that? I'll go to Vegas?
No, he actually is going to miss his flight if he doesn't leave right now.
No, he is going. Him and Roy.
Depending on your table discipline, it could be quite punitive.
He left on that note.
Learn from my mistakes.
Yeah, great punctuation.
Avoid the Bellagio.
He's going to feel good about that?
Yes, he's going to go.
You want to go $5 buy-in.
Join Roy.
The $25 minimums. Have you ever lost $3,000 waiting for a drink? I have.
I've paid hundreds of dollars for a drink. I have not paid thousands of dollars for a drink just by losing a couple of $100 while waiting for your free drink.
You try to justify and you do the math.
Vegas scam. The great
It's a free
Vegas
drink.
scam. The drinks are free. What can go wrong?
$375 later.
It's such a great trick. The drink is free. It cost me $800.